I think you left your shooting boots in at home, and I just couldn't sort of get functioning properly.
In that 90 minutes at Wembley, I can actually remember only getting one touch of the ball.
I can remember having two.
Highway. Seeking to attack Frank Clark. He's round the outside. Toshak. Smith. Small. And cleared by Macdonald of all people. Back there helping.
And the third one he put over the stand in the second half.
That's the one I remember. I remember the misses as well as the goals. I don't think I got many more kicks
than you. I think I got 4 and 4 off Keegan.
But Liverpool weren't good that day, were they?
No, I think if they'd have been on their form, we probably would have been annihilated, maybe about 5 or 6. But having said that, to go 0-0 at half-time, I thought we had a chance. I'm being realistic here, aren't I? I thought we had a chance. We did have a chance at 0-0. Having that goal disallowed that Lindsay scored, I thought, well, at least we're in with a shout. But we just couldn't get going. And I say it was an off day for me and off day for you. And if you're not getting the service from me, then I think at the end of the day, we realised that we're never going to win that match.
Cassidy now. He's onside. They left him. This could be. This could be. But Macdonald is the sort of player who either takes those or misses them really badly, and he was way off target there.
And Liverpool ran amok in the second half, clattering 3 goals past William at full. Steve Highway was superb in that second half, scoring a great goal.
Good flick by Toshak to Highway. Could this be 2? Yes!
It left us all totally flabbergasted, in tears. But bless him, Bill Shankly at the end of the game, he came onto the pitch and he ignored his own players, the winners, and he came to us losers and said, there's always another time, you'll get there. Winning's not an easy thing. And I shall always remember Bill for taking the time out to speak to another team. He was a dear man.
We didn't have what do you call it, a fanciful side. We had a blend. We had a blend and a mixture that worked. I mean, when we came here, I thought that we had started to play the way that we can play, you know, like individually and collectively. What I found out that before I arrived here, that they said to me, I hope you're going to change the style up there, because it was all long, pumpy balls for Wyn Davis, and they didn't see any sort of real football. But Joe brought in people in the right department. He set off with Paddy out at the back, who was a very hard tackling lad. He had Craig Clark and Moncur with experience through the juniors here. Then he had myself and Tony and McDermott and Nervin Natras and Tommy Cass. All these were in midfield, which was all types of different types of midfield players, and that is probably why we were successful and we could pass the ball, because we all wanted to play football. But we played one-touch football in training, if you can remember.
Yes.
Apart from every time it got to you, it broke down. Because she shot from about 30 yards or something, you know?
That's right.
If you can remember these sort of things.
Yes, I do. That in all fairness, you would only ever pass to me in training when you felt it was about time that somebody should have a shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
because you knew I wasn't.
You're the only bloke I would know could shoot from 50 yards in a 3 foot by 3 foot high by 3 foot wide goals and expect to score.
Yeah, because you knew you were never going to get the ball back.
We're never going to get the ball back. No, exactly. That's why we never used to pass it often in training. We just left you for Saturday.
Well, Gordon Lee made it quite obvious that he didn't want me around St James's Park. He had other ideas, and he informed me that he had an inquiry from Terry Neal, the manager of Arsenal, and that Terry Neal was flying north, that a fee of $275,000 had been agreed, and that I would be talking with Terry Neal later that day, and would I please go to Newcastle Airport? Well, I thought that's a funny location to be meeting with a new manager, but anyway, I went there and found that Terry Neal had a private plane, which we took to Luton, and from Luton, chauffeur-driven car down to a hotel in Hertfordshire, and we got talking as to what the situation was. Did I want to sign for Arsenal? My feeling was that, yes, I wanted to sign for Arsenal. There were a lot of good things that I felt that were going to happen with Arsenal, and I would like to be a part of it. Well, there were exciting times ahead at Arsenal, of that I was confident. It needed a little while for everybody to get to know each other because we had new players coming into the side. We had both the youngsters and signings, myself and Alan Hudson. But when we got that act together, by heavens, could we play. The football was superb. We could spread it around all over the park, and the goals that we scored were quite magnificent at times. Probably the best performance of that season, well, ironically enough, was saved for the visit of Newcastle United. They came here, they brought 10,000 fans at that end of the ground. The atmosphere was totally electric, and in the most pulsating of 90 minutes, we beat them 5-3.
It's come to Alan Ball. Macdonald getting up! That's the one he wanted!
Your strength was your pace. Once you got it in the areas, you were clinical. Crosses in the box, you were brave. But to build off you, you're a nightmare. So your strength...
Playing the ball up to me.
Playing it into you, you weren't interested in that. You didn't want that. So we used somebody else for that. So it bounced off somebody else back to me. Then in you go, Malcolm Macdonald, and score.
You were one of the few midfield players that understood the service that a forward needed. And once we were together in the Arsenal strip, there was a bond that came about between us. But all the time, it was you demanding. It was something that I had never experienced before.
Well, I've always thought when you play in midfield, I don't want the time on the ball. The front man's got to have the time, and the quicker I can get it, and when the ball's coming to me, if you know and the trust you've got as a front man that the ball's on its way, you can make your runs. They played offside in those days, but providing the front man trusted and knew that it was coming from his partner from the middle of the park, Malcolm, you could make your runs and you'd kill any offside trap, whatever. And the lovely thing about you was that you always recognised the fact that I was unselfish, and if you made your runs, and it gave me as much satisfaction to know that you're on your bike with them powerful runs and you can go and you get in down the side of people, that it was just like, it was like so easy for me to, as it was coming, I know, over the top, go on Malcolm, on your bike, put that away. And the most important thing is I wanted you to have the time. And as you say, you'd never come across it before, but that's unselfishness, that's teamwork. And people who understand that in football, especially front men, they score goals.
And in that game for Arsenal at Highbury against Newcastle, not long after I'd transferred from one to the other, that was quite an occasion with all the travelling Geordies. And the pressure was on me. And I remember saying to you that Alan Kennedy had a tendency to walk under the ball, particularly at free kicks.
Things, yeah.
And again, thank you very much, Mr. Ball. You helped me out.
It's come to Alan Ball. Macdonald getting up!
You knew exactly what you wanted. You'd done your homework on people. And it was up to the people like Chippy Brady and myself at that time to give you the right service. We knew if we got the right service in for you, you'd score goals. And all credit to you. You know, we did the hard bit. You kept putting them in the net.
He's got so much awareness on the ball, Brady. He seems to work out all the alternatives and play the best ball 9 times out of 10. That's not a bad ball from Ross either to Armstrong. Stapleton's on the far side, so is Macdonald. Stapleton! Macdonald!
And it was up to people like myself, Liam Brady, at that particular time, to feed you into your strengths. And if we got them in that particular area for you, you didn't put them away, you knew you'd be in a bit of bother from us. But invariably, you did put them away.
Well played by Alan Ball. And Stapleton now. Armstrong, Matthews is the player in the middle. Had to check to stop being offside. Here comes Ross. Stapleton on the near post. Macdonald! has gone and done it all over again. A hat-trick against his old club. The first time he's met them since joining Arsenal.
On the strength of that performance, you would think that here was one of the best sides in Europe, that we should go and win so many things.
Oh, and Dwyer might have put them in trouble there. Still Sunderland now in possession. Now Rice in possession. The chip on the far side towards Stapleton. And it's going to be there by Macdonald.
Graham Ricks again. And Yorkshire lad nicely played inside for Hudson. A touch for Stapleton. Back towards Macdonald. Oh, and it's an own goal off Ruffy. So Don Howe wants someone to come back a little bit. In fact, he wants David O'Leary back a bit. Now Ricks turning that ball in. Rhoda getting it away. Here's Macdonald with a cross. Oh, and it's another own goal.
Caused a little bit of controversy with Brian Moore by getting my arm up on both the goals. And I said, sure, the defenders don't want to have OGs put down against their names.
I don't think we weren't too bothered anyway. I was going to say, we were not arguing. We didn't mind who was claiming the goal. Yeah. We were getting through the semi-final and getting the final of the cup, and that was the most important thing.
And at the end of that first season here at Highbury, we had the most glorious of opportunity to start putting the first bit of silverware together. We got through to the FA Cup final against Ipswich Town. We were red-hot favourites, and absolute disaster of disasters. We got beat 1-0. It should have been 4, maybe 5. I can remember having one shot at goal, and then it was one of the worst I've ever had.
Sunderland, Macdonald on the left foot. And that's the first chance he's really had to get into the game.
It was a disaster.
Derek Lippard has got 2 watches out there. They say time, and Ipswich win the cup for the first time in their history, and they thoroughly deserve it.
It's so easy, isn't it, just to slip off that top notch of performance and not realise it, and it needs something drastic to hoist yourself back
jolt.
on there.
Oh, everybody
Yes.
needs a jolt. We all need one.
Yes, but in that, when you came to Arsenal, Don, and you looked at me as the centre forward for Arsenal, how did you see it in your mind to work the team as the coach to get the best from me?
Well, it was to use your strengths. I mean, obviously you were very quick and powerful, Malcolm, and in general you liked the ball ahead of you. You didn't want to come back towards the ball, you wanted to run after the ball, and with your pace and your power, it used to get you in. And I thought to myself, well, if we can get enough balls behind their defence, at the back of their defence, for you to run after with your pace, we're going to make goals. So we just worked on things like that. You know, we'd set it up to Frank Stapleton, he'd knock it back, then we'd knock you in.
That's right.
What you used to do when you used to score the goals is the hardest thing for a goalkeeper to handle. That means that when you went in close on a goalkeeper, you hit it hard and low. You very rarely took him on and tried to go around him. You got to kind of 4 or 5 yards away and you hit it hard and low. Well, as you know, for a goalkeeper, and Pat will tell you, if somebody shoots quickly with pace by your feet, you don't know how to save it. You know, it's going. You can't get a hand down to it. You might jab a foot out, and even then, that's not quick enough. And that's what you used to do well. It was this pace and this power to hit the target, and it was that scored your goals.
Nobody's talked about your heading ability as well. I mean, he was very, very useful in the air. And from a goalkeeper's point of view, again, you knew whenever the ball was being knocked into the box that you were always going to be under pressure from.
And you were a treat to play with as a midfield player, because without no messing about, you said, if you get that, it's my responsibility. You do that job, I'll do this. And you put the ball in the back of the net. That's priceless because it's simple.
So Fulham was the club I had supported throughout my boyhood. It became my first Football League club as a player. Well, to keep a trend going, Fulham became the first club that I managed. Well, I took over here at Fulham, and they were to the bottom of the 3rd division. In the next season, we were able to get promotion from the 3rd to the 2nd division. And we had quite a team in that 2nd division, and the season culminated in St James's Park.
Malcolm Macdonald, scorer of over 100 goals in 5 years as Newcastle